I've actually done quite a lot of organising, and I have got like a few clips, but I feel like I've just been in the zone. I haven't really picked the camera up that much, but you saw what this room looked like before, so it was literally just an absolute mess. So I wanted to organise this room a little bit better and take some bits out of this extension room because this was just getting really bad. And I did organise this. It probably was around about this time last year, but I had everything in boxes. I had like all of our Christmas stuff over here. I had like kitchen bits over there, but since like as time's gone on and things have been dumped here, Louis moved stuff around when he was trying to do the installation. He had to cut a hole in the floor down here, so he's just sort of like shoved stuff all over the place and it's all just a big mess now. So I need to just reorganise this because it's bothering me. So I've taken some bits from here and put them into this little bedroom. So our Christmas bits I've put in here. These drawers, the 3 drawers are on our bed currently because these are full of like Louis things. So I've put the Christmas stuff there. There's like a few boxes behind there as well. But yeah, I wanted to get this a little bit more organised because we need to start emptying the living room downstairs, so there's going to be more stuff to come upstairs. So I just wanted a little bit more organisation up here. Good morning everyone. I didn't really speak to you that much yesterday. Oh, it's bright in here. Yeah, I didn't really speak much to you yesterday because I was just in like the zone. You know when you start doing something sort of unexpectedly. So it was literally about, I don't know, maybe sort of 4 o'clock yesterday afternoon, and I just started like organising. I was pulling stuff out of the extension, which is just an absolute mess. I was sorting this little bedroom that I'm like stood in now. And like once I started, I just couldn't stop, you know, when you just unexpectedly like think, right, I'm going to do that job right now. Which was good because I got a lot done. But yeah, I didn't really pick the camera up, speak to how much. I was just in the zone, doing what I was doing. I did get some clips. I've already popped those in, but I thought I would just give you a little update as to like where we're at. So this is how the little bedroom is looking. I don't know whether I showed this yesterday in the clips that I got. So Louis sorted out his like football bits that are in these drawers. I've tried to keep it so that we can obviously still get access into places. So this wardrobe is pretty much, well, the wardrobe and this dressing table under here are just in here because they need to go. We don't really have like use for them anymore. Obviously we've got new wardrobes in like the back bedroom, and I'm using my desk as my dressing table now, so these both just need to go, and that's why they're in here basically. But for the time being, I have put some boxes of clothes in here just because I might as well obviously make use of the storage. And then these drawers have got Louis' football bits in, so I've tried not to obviously block access into the drawers and the wardrobe. So this is Christmas stuff here, as you can probably tell. There are some boxes underneath here. Again, I tried not to like stack things up too high, or like, I don't know, I just tried to not make it difficult to get into things, because if I need to get to the box behind these boxes right at the bottom, it's going to be annoying if I then have to like move loads of other boxes. So this is just sort of how this room is looking at the moment. We could fit more in here, but then we wouldn't have access to different things. We've obviously also got these cupboards here which are like built in above the sort of stairs, so I also still wanted to be able to have access to these because we do have bits in there as well. So yeah, this room is looking a lot better. And then in the extension, we've still got a lot of work to do in here. I'm gonna try and just tackle a few bits myself now, but Louis is still, well, still, I say still, he's been like here, there and everywhere all weekend. So he's currently playing golf. So he has sorted quite a lot of his stuff out that was in here last night. So a few of these boxes are my things anyway, which is fine. I'll sort through them, get rid of anything I don't need, move things around. I just want to reorganise the bits in here because I did have a little bit of a system. Over this side of the room is chaos, and this is pretty much Louis' problem because I don't even know where to start. I don't know what's what. He's got like, these are his bags here, there's tools down there, there's just like boxes of stuff, there's just things everywhere. So I think I'm gonna sort this area out and just like reorganize the boxes a little bit, and then when Louis is back this afternoon he can sort of tackle this area. And a lot of the stuff will stay in this room, which is fine. Obviously we might as well use this room for storage, but it just needs pulling out, organising. If we can give this room a little bit of like a sweep and just a general like clean up, I think would make a difference because it's just gotten really, really bad in here. So yeah, that is what I'm gonna do this afternoon. Actually Wednesday, but the plasterer has pushed us back a day because I think the job that he's on is taking longer than expected. So yeah, we're starting a day later than we expected, but that's fine. Obviously we're not actually in any rush for any reason, we just want it doing. So yeah, fingers crossed he should be here tomorrow, but this room is now completely empty. You can probably tell by the echo, but this is how the room is now looking. We've got a little like collection of things here, which are just like the flooring and stuff, which obviously it's not going to be in his way. He can still get access to like all of the walls and the ceiling and everything, but it's just more of a chew on to move this somewhere unnecessarily. So that's just staying there. Yeah, it's nice to see this room all clear, and hopefully definitely by next week this room should be plastered or skimmed. He did originally say 3 days, and he was obviously gonna do Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So I don't know whether he's planning on doing like Thursday, Friday, Monday, or whether we'll be able to sort of squeeze it into just like Thursday and Friday. I'm not sure, but yeah, we'll see what he says later, and fingers crossed he will be able to come tomorrow and get started on this room because I'm excited to see it all come together. It's just exciting. I've also had another delivery. I think I've only had one delivery. I don't think I've ordered anything else for the house. God, there's stuff all over again. This house is just a mess 24/7. I'm gonna pop you on that. I feel like the lighting is a lot better here. So yeah, these are the lights that I ordered from Olivia's. So this is the actual like base of like the light. So I don't know how well you can see because I don't feel like this is the best lighting, but this is supposed to be bronze and it looks black. It's a very, very, very dark bronze, but I don't know whether to just go with it. I might actually have a little look now and see if I can find like exactly the same light but in more of like an antique brass colour, because I wanted it to look a little bit less black than this. I'm funny when it comes to like metal colours. I don't like gold. I don't like polished brass or anything too bright gold. I like an antique brass look, and I do like bronze, but this to me just doesn't really have any like, I don't know, sort of texture on it or anything. It just looks like matte black to me. Obviously it's got like a little pull cord thing here, which we won't actually need to use because these wall lights are just wired to the actual light switch. Louis was a little bit unsure whether we can actually do these, but I'm sure we'll figure it out. And then obviously the bulb goes in there, and then that goes round, and there's like a bit that goes on the bottom as well, so they sort of look like that. They're actually quite big. These were, I think these were in the sale, so I got them for £78 I want to say, but I think originally they were maybe like 120 odd. So I feel like it's nice and heavy, but yeah, I think I'm just gonna have a little look, see if there is the same light or a very similar light in more of like an antique brass. But if not, I'll probably just keep the bronze, because I do like it. I just, yeah, I feel like it can easily just be mistaken for black. But whoops. Yeah, Louis should hopefully be able to put these up in the downstairs toilet like whenever, but I do need to find a mirror for that downstairs toilet first, because obviously there's two of these, so these will sit either side of the mirror. So I need to know what size the mirror is going to be, how big it's going to be before these go on the wall. So yeah, they won't be going up quite yet, but I'm on the hunt for a mirror. I have found one that I do quite like, but I don't know whether it's a little bit too big for that room, but yeah, we'll see. But there, our new bathroom, well, downstairs toilet wall lights. So I've showed this coving on, I think it was my like previous vlog. So this is the coving from Screwfix that I think we're going to go for in the living room. Let me just get this out of the box. So this is the Screwfix coving, and this is sort of like more of a like plastic material rather than actual plaster, so it's a lot more affordable, and Louis is gonna give this a go himself at actually like fitting it. We also got this, which is basically, it's the same material as this, but it's just more of like a dado rail. Again, this comes in packs of 6, and it's like 2 metre lengths, and I think it was £30 for the pack. So I did consider using this to try and add to this. So I don't know how much sense this is going to make, but basically this, well, but this coving here was the first sample that I got. This is from Plaster Ceiling Roses, which is a website, and this is proper plaster. So this is very heavy, like the proper stuff. And I prefer this just because it's a little bit bigger. This one is smaller, and I wanted to go quite big, quite dramatic in the living room. But obviously they are very, very similar, and for the price difference I can't really justify going for this one because it's like 20mm bigger. So what I wanted to do was try and basically add something to the top and the bottom of this to make it that little bit bigger. So I did originally think of possibly trying to add this like to the bottom and to the top, which could potentially work, but I think that this just isn't quite right. So we're still going to use this because I've mentioned before as well about wanting to add a design to the ceiling. So we're going to use this as like a moulding on the ceiling. I'll pop in the picture again of what I'm explaining because I feel like it's probably quite confusing. But yeah, we're going to use that for some detail around the ceiling. But I think I might try and just get some like mouldings from B&Q and just see what will work with this, basically. See what I can add to the top and to the bottom, just to like, I don't know, sort of personalise it, make it a little bit bigger, add a little bit more detail, because I really wanted a lot of detail in that room. So I just feel like I might as well give it a go, see what I think. So yeah, I might nip to B&Q and just sort of see what mouldings they've got and sort of like dado rails. Obviously I don't want anything too big, but yeah, I think I might just go and see what they've got, but that is the plan. So it's now Thursday. The plasterer has started this morning, so he's just nipped out to like wait for some of the stuff to dry, I think. So I'll give you a little look as it is now. There's not really much to see, to be honest. Nels, you go in there. You stay there. Oh, he's got his thing in his mouth. Yeah, so this is how it's looking at the moment, which is pretty much exactly the same. There's some bits on the ceiling there, but he's sort of boarded inside here, patched up these bits on the side, and like put something on the walls that he's waiting for that to dry now, and then he's coming back in about half an hour to start skimming. So yeah, we should see a bit of progress definitely by the end of today. Oh my god, look at that spider. Ooh, I'm not touching that. So yeah, that's the progress so far. He's only been here for a couple of hours. Where's the dog gone now? Nels? Nels? Oh, he's upstairs. Yeah, so he said he's gonna bring one of his friends tomorrow to like help him with the plastering, so that he can be done by tomorrow basically, because obviously it's Thursday now. He was originally gonna do Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, but he was like delayed on the job that he was doing, so he's gonna try and squeeze it into just Thursday and Friday because he's got another job on Saturday. So yeah, we should be all done by tomorrow, fingers crossed. And obviously we'll have to give the room, like, we'll probably give it at least a week to like dry out. We'll just sort of probably play that by ear, because you can like see the colour difference when it's dry compared to when it's wet. So we'll just wait for it to dry out, and then obviously I need to order skirting board. Actually, I'm still like stuck on which skirting board to go for. I think I've showed you all of the samples that I got before, but I think I've like overdone it and now I'm just confused. So I mean, I like all of them, and I feel like I changed my mind by the day. So I originally thought I was going to go for one of these ones, which is like the Edwardian style. Then I changed my mind and thought, no, I'm going to go Victorian. Obviously our actual skirting board will be quite a lot taller than these, because I think I'm going to go for sort of like 220mm, which is quite tall. But now I'm leaning a little bit more towards this antique one, because I feel like I like it when all of the detail is just at the top, and then you've got just like a lot of, I don't know, like plain skirting board, if that makes sense. So I do quite like this one. I just don't know, I've confused myself, but I need to make a decision and get that ordered, and then Louis can do the skirting board, he can do the coving. Yeah, that's pretty much where we're at. We'll probably have at least a week of nothing much going on in that room while it dries, but then maybe like next weekend, not this weekend, the weekend after, Louis can start doing some of the skirting board, the coving. We also need to get a ceiling rose, and there is a shop near us that has cheaper ceiling roses than ones that I can find online, like quite a lot cheaper. I'm sure the ones in the shop were like £20–30, and the ones that I'm looking at online are more like 80–90. Yeah, that is where we're at. I'll obviously update you probably at the end of today once that room is skimmed. So the plasterer's just left for the day. To be honest, this room doesn't look much different because he hasn't actually done any of the skimming. He's just been doing like all of the prep today. So this is how the fireplace is looking. This is obviously the area that needed the most prep really, because all of the sides up here were sort of like open, so he had to like put stuff in there. Obviously he's boarded inside here. Same on this side, this all needed prepping, and then obviously you can see like all of the other bits that he's just got all prepped and ready to actually skim the walls tomorrow. And then he's also just patched up, well again prepped these bits where the radiators were, so there, that one there and that bit in there as well. So again, that's just the actual prep, and then he'll just skim over them tomorrow, neaten those bits up. We've had a little bit of a situation, which is Louis' fault.
It's not my fault.
It is your fault. So this line here, that mind out the way sack, that goes like from right down there, this is where the wall light, this is where Louis had the wall light on this side, which is in the middle of this wall, which is fair enough. But the other wall light, because of the door, is this distance from like the chimney breast. So this side needs to be the same as this side, which it was on my lighting plan that I did, that you clearly didn't follow or look at.
Yes, because I disagree with you.
So Louis thinks that we should leave it like this,
because it's in the centre,
like as it was. So this one would be here and this one would be over here, which obviously when you're watching the telly there and you've got a light there and then a light miles away over here isn't right. I know it's not going to be in the centre of that wall.
Wasted there.
What is?
That there, right, is wasted.
It's not.
It's like the feature of the wall, so once we centre.
No, it's
that
not.
That one isn't centre because there's a door there. So you just.
But you can't have them. You can't have them like that. You just can't. And obviously, I'll balance this out so it's not just a light that looks odd there. There'll be something else on the wall or something like to fill this negative space, it's called.
Well, I've done the job.
So basically, yeah, he's had to add a little bit of extra cable.
Do it wrong, I just done it.
No, he just didn't follow what it was supposed to be, how I wanted it. So we've moved it along now.
After the plastering, baby.
Yeah, so the plaster's done all of the prep. So we've rang him and told him that he'll have to fill this little bit before they actually like skim the walls, but it's what it is. Needs to rewrite, which it would have been if you'd have just followed my instructions. So the plastering is now finished. They did manage to get it done on the Friday, so they ended up only being here Thursday, Friday, which was good. So yeah, it's a couple of days later now. It's currently Sunday, so it's been drying out for like a day and a bit. Yeah, probably about a day and a half. So yeah, I'll show you what it's currently looking like. The lighting might be a little bit funny from the window, but you can see some of the patches on the ceiling here. This wall here is obviously the one that was already plastered. This was plastered like last year, so nothing's been done on that wall, and then all of the other walls in the ceiling are just drying out. This is how the fireplace is looking, so this is obviously a lot better than before. We sorted the light situation, so Louis moved this wire over here so that the lights are like equal distance from the fireplace on either side. This was like a big debate. Louis put this on Instagram and quite a lot of people, I think more people, said that this light should be in the centre, but I literally just, I couldn't disagree more. They need to be equal distance, and then obviously we'll have something on the wall like here to balance it out. I'm not just gonna leave like a big gap on this side. I'm thinking I might put some, maybe a couple of like pictures sort of staggered, or like a very tall floral display, because we will have a sideboard here. So obviously I'll have something taller on this side to balance that out, but I just could not have lived with it if the light was in the middle of this wall but here on this side. Like, it's just so lopsided and uneven. I couldn't have done it. So yeah, this is how it's looking. It's drying out nicely so far. This bit of the ceiling is actually quite dry already. I'm going to open the blinds, open the windows, leave this door open, I think, just to let the air sort of flow through. It's a really nice day today. I feel like we're having like a September heat wave. I looked at the weather app yesterday and I'm sure tomorrow it's like 25 degrees, full sunshine, and similar on Tuesday, and then like all week pretty much like high 20s, which I wasn't expecting considering I've just put like all of my summer stuff away and I was like ready to get all of the jumpers out. So yeah, I might have to dig out a couple of summer dresses, but I'm back at work tomorrow, which is very sad. So I just want to get the house like feeling nice and sort of tidy, just so that my mind is ready to get back into work. We also got some bits of like moulding from Discount DIY. That's Louis' favourite shop. So I'll show you the bits that we got. They're currently like all taped together, but these are for the coving, to add to the coving like I was explaining. So I'll get those out of like the sort of packaging and show you what I'm planning on doing with the coving. But I think what we're gonna have to do is just obviously wait for this to dry. I reckon it'll take a good week at least. It's not ideal to put anything on plaster before it's completely dry, so we'll just give it as long as it needs to fully dry out, and then I think I'll probably mist coat everywhere before we do anything, but obviously before we do the coving or anything. But one thing that we are doing in here, so that's what this other bit of wood is for here. We're basically gonna put the wood, I don't know how well you're gonna be able to see this because of the light coming from the window. That's a bit better. So we're gonna attach the wood to this wall here, right across, as close as we can get it to the ceiling, and then attach the coving to the wood so that you basically can't see the curtain pole. So the curtains will look very sort of like, I don't know, just like they're coming from the ceiling sort of thing, and the coving will be in front of the curtain pole attached to this bit of wood, if that makes sense. So obviously I'll film the whole process and like show you how we do it and what it looks like at the end. Hopefully it will look how I want it to look. But yeah, Louis gonna have to attach that bit of wood right across, and then I'll probably paint that as well. So yeah, the next couple of weekends will probably be full of painting. Yeah, once like the skirting board and the coving is on, we've also obviously got the bits that we're adding to the ceiling. We need to get a ceiling rose as well, that needs to go on, but we'll do all of that first and then I'll do the proper coat of paint. I'm not 100% sure on the colour yet, but I've had one colour literally picked out for about 3 years. I was going to paint our old living room in our old house this colour, but then obviously when we were potentially moving, selling the house, I thought it's really not a good idea to paint a room like a really dark colour just before selling it. So I didn't do it in the old house, and yeah, I've just had my heart set on like a really dark green for a long time. So these are like a couple of samples that I literally picked up yesterday. I've had this one before and I don't know whether I actually got a proper like tester pot of this. I don't know how well you can see it either, but I feel like that could be a little bit too dark. I think sometimes with paint it's easy to get a bit carried away when you're going to do a dark colour. I think that one is a little bit like greeny blue for me. So this is the one that I've liked for a long time. This is just the actual tester pot that I've got. Dried bay leaf, this is called. Let me open it up. I feel like the lighting is really not great in here, but this is sort of what the colour looks like, if you can see that at all. Obviously once I've done the mist coat, I will put like samples of these on each wall just to get a proper idea, because yeah, I'm quite like picky. I want it to be like green undertone, but I don't want it to be too green, and I want it to be dark and like moody and dramatic, but not too dark that it's like overwhelming for the room. But yeah, that's the sort of colour that I'm planning on going for. So it'll definitely be another few weeks until we're actually ready to sort of move like furniture and stuff into here. There's lots of bits that I still need to order. I need to order the wall lights, which I've actually found some on Amazon that look pretty nice. I'll show you those when I end up ordering them. But we also had the join around yesterday just to give us an idea of price for our new kitchen. So I mentioned this like ages and ages ago, months ago. We have paid a deposit for our kitchen, but when we like paid the deposit and chose the kitchen and did the plans and everything, we said that it would be realistically probably like early next year, sort of January time, but we might potentially go for it a little bit earlier, maybe it's like November if we can. But obviously we just wanted to get a proper quote from the joiner for fitting, see how much that is going to be. We also need to get some doors hung. So we do currently have a door on this living room, which is obviously just the door that was already here. We do eventually need to swap this over though, so the door will swing open from like this side, so it'll open into the room this way instead of this way, because obviously we've got light switches, wall light and everything here. So we need to swap this, well, not this exact door. When we get a new door, it'll be hung on this side so it opens. But obviously for the time being, this is a door and it does the job, and we can't really go too crazy. Obviously we can't do everything all at once, but I've showed these doors before, sorry about the washing machine, but I got these doors off Facebook Marketplace because they were basically the exact style, the exact like design that I wanted, and they just popped up on Facebook Marketplace, and very impulsively I was like, oh my god, these are the doors that I want, we need to buy them. And I think she was selling, I can't remember how many she was selling, I want to say there was maybe about 7, but only 3 of them actually fit our door frame, so we bought 3 of them. Obviously they were second-hand Facebook Marketplace, they weren't very expensive, but the longer we've had them, the more unsure I am, not about the style of the door. I still love the door, but this, obviously it's an oak door, but this has got some sort of like lacquer on it, so it's very, very smooth, and it almost feels like it's not real wood, which you can't really sand it, and this isn't the colour that I would have wanted to go for. And then obviously we've only got 3 of these doors, so then when it comes to ordering all of the other doors, a lot of the oak doors now come, there we go, they come like untreated, unfinished, so you buy your own like stain or whatever and stain them yourself. So if I've got 3 that are this colour and then I need to stain all of the rest of the doors in the house, I feel like it would be difficult for me to get an exact match of that colour, and if I'm being picky, that isn't really the colour that I would want. So I don't want to match all of the doors in the house to a colour that I don't really want everywhere, if that makes sense. So yeah, as time has gone on, I've started to think realistically, I don't think these 3 are going to work, and obviously there's no point in us paying to get these 3 hung and then changing them, because we're just paying twice. So basically, long story short, I think we're probably just going to have to sell these 3 on Facebook Marketplace again and just get all of the doors brand new so that I can be certain that they all match and they're all the same. So yeah, we have considered getting all of the doors for downstairs, which would be 5 doors. But then with all of like the door handles, the hinges, the latches, everything, it just adds up like so much. And obviously we don't have any of the architraves or anything either. So yeah, we're still not 100% sure what we're going to do, but I feel like we might just have to get a couple of doors that are a little bit more like important. Ideally we could do with the door here, which separates obviously like the hallway and upstairs from this kitchen, just like for sort of practicality wise in the winter. A big issue with not having any doors is that we obviously can't like separate the heat and like keep the heat in, which results in it being very expensive to heat the entire house when we might only be sat in like one room. But yeah, there's lots of things to like think about over the next few months. Our main focus really is that living room. So I might end this video here and start a brand new video when we actually like start doing things, because obviously there's going to be pretty much a whole week now where we can't do anything in that room. So I hope that you've enjoyed watching this video, watching us get prepped, and yeah, keep an eye out for the next few videos because hopefully there should be lots of exciting things happening. So thank you for watching and I will see you all very soon.